Hey everyone, this is Castle Does. So I'm now working on the first multiplayer map for Project Stray, and is meant to be a sort of rooftops level. And you can probably see that some of the assets that aren't here from the example maps and stuff like that. I am not afraid to be pulling from example maps, and anything that I can find that's free I will be probably pulling from. So the idea is a really, like, on the top of a tower, a really unusual structure that's sort of something that you can view from above. Now that the level is just started, I just started building it, but it's something that you can view from above completely. So, like, well, almost completely. There'll be a couple of spots that are underneath. You might recognize this layout from a level that I've already created for UT4, the Ballist. This is Balist Tower, and this will be the only version of Ballist that I continue working on, because you know, want to make my game. So that's that. Like, sit back and enjoy the time lapse of me working on this level. Let's see. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Yeah, pretty much everything. That's pretty straightforward. Oh, the gameplay styles of this is a lot more open, and since you can jump, you're pretty much your own personal jump pad. So, like, let me jump in the map for a second. Yeah, the spectator cameras will start really high up. So, okay. So, like, I think in a lot of ways the level will kind of resemble a Tony Hawk style, like, skating rink, because you'll have things like this, like, and it's just going to be very easy for the player to move around the map freely. So I'm going to have to be really careful about that, because I do actually want to have some prediction of where the other player is and stuff like that, and I don't want people to just be totally free the whole time. But I think in a lot of ways this will play kind of like DM Morpheus, because having super jump at your disposal kind of makes it like a low gravity map. With that said, alright, time to get busy. Alright, at this point I got kind of a pretty decent start, I think, on what I want to do. I am following pretty closely to the original layout, but there's definitely more differences kind of coming together. I'm also just starting now to kind of think about the visual style. Now, in most cases, the visual style is never even considered until the level is fully playable. I mean, and there's always a balance, but in this case I don't really have that luxury because the number of people who would be interested in the project will not understand block meshing and things of that nature. So it's actually, if you're an indie developer, there's a lot more pressure to make stuff that looks good sooner than later. I mean, anyway, that's just a thought on that. Anyway, so I have about half the layout. There's another area over here, and I have some of the weapons in place. Alright. Here's a rocket launcher. Oh, one thing I did not mention in the video is that I'm now also working on the combat system as well. I'm making additions, and one of the things that's going into this is bullet time and blocking and super combos, which are very fighting game-esque things. Now the bullet time is actually just a way to chain attacks together. So like, well, I have bullet time functional right now actually. So basically, get up in the air, you activate it, and then you fall off the world. But so blocking takes like a second in order to activate fully, so you have to hold the block button down for 1 second, and any damage you take during that 1 second will further delay it and make it take longer before you can actually begin blocking. So if somebody catches you really quickly in a situation where you weren't ready to block, and you try to block but it's too late, and he hits you quickly with one move, and then he can immediately follow up with other weapons that do more damage and things of that nature. So there's actually kind of like a fighting game-esque kind of catch somebody off guard and then chain them with a bunch of attacks in a row in bullet time. And this may also be one of the only times I really get to see bullet time used in an arena first-person shooter in the first place, but in a multiplayer game in general. So it's going to be a pretty interesting experiment. I wonder how bullet time is really going to feel. So anyway, if you liked what you saw, if you like what you see, click like and subscribe, and stay tuned for more. The evil that satisfies your parade. The evil that satisfies your parade.